Hey everybody, we're here. Five for Talking, new episode. I guess it's a Leafs edition. I'm here with Caps, the captain of the show, and he looks like you look happy though. You look like you were just playing some golf. You know who else was just playing golf?
The weather's beautiful. I'm enjoying the weather. Yeah, go ahead. Because I got it from like four people already. But go ahead, say it.
Austin Matthews and the boys.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Okay. I didn't want to do this last week for obvious reasons because, like, our expectations were that they were going to go far. I didn't care if they were going to win the cup. I just wanted them to win a series. One. That was it. That was my expectations. Okay. And Campbell said you were asking me about my predictions. Bargo was asking me about my predictions. I had friends of mine ask me what they were going to do, and I had no comment. I didn't want to say anything, right? You remember that, right? However, I did say my prediction to actually one person who is, in fact, a Habs fan, okay? And it just happened to be just before game number 5. Game number 5, where they were up 3-1, the Leafs. And I told them straight up, I said, if the Leafs do not win game 5, they will not win the series. Because then they're going to go into game 6, into an arena full of Hab fans, and they ain't going to win that one. I can guarantee you that. And for obvious reasons, go into game 7, and they weren't going to win that either because they never win a game 7. You know what I mean? So I never wanted to say, I didn't want to jinx it, but just that one time I said what I had to say because I knew it was going to happen. I knew it. Our expectation this season was for them to win just one friggin' playoff series. I didn't care about winning the cup. It would have been nice, but we said it throughout the whole season, Campos. You, Bargo, myself, this was on paper the best Leafs team that they put together. Correct? Now, it's done. They're probably out golfing, having some barbecue, whatever the hell they're doing. Okay? And I hope they're ashamed of themselves because honestly, I would be. The fact that they finished first and they couldn't close out a series against a team that just barely made it into the playoffs. And right now they're leading Winnipeg, 2-0? I mean, good on them, but it seems as though Carey Price is the only Canadian player or a player on a Canadian team that's making over $10 million a year that's actually doing his job.
He's actually the only player remaining in the playoffs making double-digit AAV.
Now, who do we place blame on? I place no blame on Kyle Dubas. None.
I think that Kyle. Okay, can I go now for
Go
a
ahead,
second? Man. I don't want to cut you off, but
no. I'll say what I have to say after you're done.
I think Kyle Dubas, as much as I don't like him, and I will admit that, I think sometimes his strategies are really stupid. But he gave you what we said, the best team maybe ever on paper in Leafs history, and then gave you more at the deadline. He gave you more. He's like, here, do you like things? Oh, and then guess who else came back at the deadline? Frederick Anderson. And you did.
You're absolutely right. And it's like you had options. If a player goes down, you had another guy willing to step in that's just as good. Well, maybe not just as good as Tavares, but like can make an impact. Galchenyuk, Foligno, Nash. Now, the rumor is that he gave up a little too much for Foligno and that he was actually injured at the time of the trade. Whatever. Fine. He made some great decisions during the offseason, and he made some really good decisions during the trade deadline. He picked up Riddick. Was Hutchinson there at the beginning of the season?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if a goalie went down, you had two other people ready to go. I mean, they weren't that great, but whatever. They could step up for a short period of time.
Okay? I mean, at least you didn't have a bunch of no-name people waiting there, right? At least you had somebody who could play hockey.
So that's what I'm saying. So, like, I placed no blame on Kyle Dubas. He must have been, like, at the end of the season, he must have been like, guys, like, what do you want me to do? Like, I just put you a superstar team. You guys couldn't win one series? Like, I'm sorry. Like, what the hell? I place no blame on him whatsoever. Like, I know he expected the cap to go up a few $1 million, but for obvious reasons, because of the pandemic and all, it didn't go up and he got stuck. But he still was able to make these crazy signings and trades and still bring in some really good players. All right. Campbell. I place no blame on Campbell.
Well, it definitely was not Campbell's fault. I mean, I can sit here all day and argue my points of the things that he does that I don't like, which I think if you don't agree with me on those things, you're crazy. But I still think he's a really good goalie. He's proven he's a starting goalie. He proved he can go all the way with this team. And I don't think in any way it's his fault. But as you could tell after the game was over, he was taking full blame for everything.
Do you know that his numbers were better than Carey Price's going into Game 7?
Yeah, I believe that 100%. The Leafs were getting pounded.
Like, what do you want him to do? I place a lot of the blame doesn't go towards the defense because they actually exceeded my expectations. They played really well. I mean, they didn't give up a lot of goals, eh?
No.
So, what's left? The coach and the forwards.
Well, I'll tell you this because I had a long discussion about the coach. Personally, I'm not on the side of fire Keefe.
No, I'm not saying that either.
No, but just let me go with this. I'm not saying get rid of him. I'm not saying you are saying that, but a lot of people are saying that because I think he still needs another season to really work with these guys, and they seem to be responding to him well, which I'm okay with. But I have to admit, and I said this maybe I think in the last video or the video before when I was with Alex, that I don't really listen to Don Cherry or take Don Cherry's advice seriously ever, but he said in a podcast, he made some of the best points I've ever heard this season of people say, why are you playing in the playoffs your star players on the penalty kill when you need them to eat minutes during the regular game? You're playing Mitch Marner friggin' 28 minutes a game. He's a forward, not a defenseman. He can't play that many minutes. It doesn't make any sense. And you've mentioned that before a lot of times.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I would never play Marner on the penalty kill. I would never play Hyman on the power play. I'm sorry.
Hyman is
straight up. Like, you can't play these players both on the penalty kill and the power play. Like, that's why you got all these other players to play. Like, use them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You want to balance the minutes. You want to balance the playing time. Like, how the hell are you supposed to make Marner effective and produce points if you have him on the penalty kill? Like, once they kill off the penalty, wouldn't you want to bring Marner on along with Matthews and Tavares or Nylander, whatever the hell it is, and be the counterattack?
Yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah, I get it. And I agree with you the same time at Hyman. And listen, this is a thing. And I'm not sitting here being negative because I'll explain later as we get deeper in this episode. But I'm not really negative about this. And it's mostly because of what you said at the beginning. I just expected it. So, but anyway, Zach Hyman, like, God bless him for his little hardworking heart and how he goes out there and tries. But he can't skate. He literally cannot skate. And he cannot stick handle. He gets the puck behind the net, does a 1-2 stick handle, and loses the puck. How do you he has more unforced turnovers than any other player in that series. Easily, not even remotely close. He passed so many pucks back to the point that were literally to nobody that it's crazy.
I'm thinking that he was probably fatigued.
I think so too.
But
that's what I mean. I'm not saying you suck, but like, you have to know when to use this guy. And the power play is not where you use Zach Hyman. You don't need people to dig on the power play.
I mean, I was watching the third period of that last game, and I don't even think I saw Thornton. I really don't. I mean, yes, he is 41 years old, but like, you got to rest some of these other players. You got to put him on at least a couple of times. I don't think I saw him that third period. I don't. And you brought it up, and I was going to bring it up afterwards with Hyman. But yes, you're absolutely right. Every time I saw Hyman skates in the offensive zone. He skates around the net, keeps the puck, centers it. There's no one there, causes a turnover, and the other way they go.
Yeah, and it was always
every single time.
It was always a pass, and not in a way that you hit me tape to tape. You set me up to start skating in the other direction. Is how his passes were. Like, you gave me a perfect pass to like lead past me into the back into the zone.
And the other thing is that you have a bunch of forwards. Okay, this team is possession based, I guess, what's the wording I'm looking for. They are all about possession.
Dominant, yeah.
Okay? But yet they can't bring it into the offensive zone. They got to dump and chase. Well, like, the only time they bring it is during the power play.
This is something that we said from the beginning, which is weird when I watch the other episodes, okay? So we said this from the beginning, and Bargo disagreed with us. But then in Bargo's episode where we picked who was going to go to the next rounds, he picked Montreal for the reasons that we said that he disagreed with. And I never noticed that until I rewatched the episode. But they're built literally to beat Toronto. We didn't see it all season for some reason, but we saw it in the playoffs. They played trap. They did not play modern style hockey. They played 1990s. I'm going to lock you down in the neutral zone, and that's it. You're not going anywhere. And it was amazing.
They scored a goal, maybe two, and they played the trap.
Yeah. And
they clogged up the neutral zone.
New Jersey won cups doing that. Yep. So,
but here's the thing: like every time they were gaining into the entry zone or the offensive zone, they just kept passing it to each other too. Like, didn't even
I noticed that too. And they kept trying to cycle these fancy passes instead of just skating with the puck.
Like, geez, like you don't know what's going to happen unless you just shoot it. Like, even if it's like a dirty goal, like hopefully it might be a dirty goal, but just shoot the puck. How many times did I say that during our chat, during the games? Just shoot the puck.
A lot.
Shoot the puck. Like it's crazy. Like, even during the intermissions of some of the games, are like they gotta like get pucks on net. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I don't know. I honestly.
Okay. The other point I want to move on to is, and this was touching base on what I was talking about with Keefe. Keefe got outcoached.
Big time.
Big time. Over a guy who replaced Claude Julien during the season. I don't know where this guy came from, but I couldn't believe it. He outcoached Keefe. If you got a guy named Danault, pretty much shutting down Matthews, by game 6 or game 7, would you not just switch things up?
Yeah.
Like, if you have Nylander going and he's your best player offensively, not defensively, offensively, because I have my opinions about Nylander as a defensive player. If he's going offensively, would you not just change things up? Put him on the Matthews line. Like, you know what I mean? Like, change it up.
I can't agree with you any more than that. It just came down to just like hoping. They kept hoping, and I'll tell you this. I said it going after game when it was 3-1. Okay, 3-1 series. So game, what is that? Game 5. I said if the Leafs lose this, they're going to lose the next game, and it's going to go to game 7. Okay, it happened. Okay, and I called game 6. I said that it's going to be the Leafs are going to be losing. They're going to make another comeback like last game, and they're going to lose in overtime. And did it not happen? And then I said it in the episode that I posted before the game that if Montreal scores the first goal, the Leafs are automatically losing game 7. And that's literally what happened. You could see it. The Leafs don't start trying until they get scored on. Where are we?
I did mention in the game 7, like that was probably their best start. I did say that.
But then as soon as the intensity increased like 100 times once they got scored on. They were like, oh, shit, we're losing. It's game 7.
But, like, they lack the killer instinct. They do. They lack the killer instinct.
Sorry, you go.
No, please, go ahead.
Okay, I think Wade Simmons looked absolutely horrible for that whole series. So he was so focused on taking people's numbers down that didn't even show up. Okay.
I don't know if he was hurt or something, but that was not the Simmons that played during the regular season.
Lou Ferrigno was nowhere to be found.
Didn't even throw a body check, I think.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It was crazy. I think, and then, you know what? I don't think he's bad, and I know he got injured, but like I said it in that episode too, Jake Muzzin didn't show up for the whole series either. and we really needed
Except
him.
for the game, he scored 2 goals.
I mean, but I don't care about offensively. I need him to, like, it was such a physical series, and I didn't see him. He's that guy. He's supposed to be that guy for us. I mean, mind you, I agree he did get goals, but Morgan Riley.
I don't even think Foligno freaking threw a check in that series. I don't know if he was hurt or whatever, but like, damn, like I don't know what it is. Like, people think that this is the new NHL, and they need to score goals rather than throw body checks. No, man, this is the playoffs. The playoffs are like a total 180 from the regular season. The Leafs had the mindset that this was just another regular season game during the playoffs. They thought it was just another regular season game, and that they were going to win, and whatever the case may be.
You're right. They don't have a killer instinct. I agree with that 100%. And I know everyone can call me out on this because everyone knows I'm not really a big fan of him, but Mitch Marner had zero killer instinct at all. He looked like he was, most of the time, he was just skating around circles, picking his nose on the ice, blowing bubbles. Like, I don't know what the hell he was doing out there.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal was with him was, man. I don't. That's not the Mitch Marner that.
And he did not admit or anything. When they gave him the post-game interview, he just kept beating around the bush. Like, he did not take any type of credit for being the reason that they lost. If I was him, if I was any Leaf, I would have been like, I could have tried harder. I could have did this. He was like, yeah, this happened and this happened. And I was like, oh my God, you're making excuses. You just lost game 7 again.
I believe it was game 6. So correct me if I'm wrong, Campos, but they were down 1-0. They had just called a penalty on the Leafs, and Marner shoots the puck into the crowd. Well, yeah. And there was nobody around him. And he shot the puck into the crowd, and that caused him to go down 2-0.
And
right?
That's another thing Don Cherry was talking about. That was one of his biggest things that he was saying. He was like, he replayed it 5 times on the podcast. He's like, how do you do this? There was no reason for you to do that. You could have just shot the puck up the boards, but you flicked it out over the bench.
There was nobody around him, and it caused him to lose the game 3-2.
I mean,
could you imagine if that? Could you imagine if they didn't get scored on? They probably would have won that game 2-1. If you know what I mean? It's possible. I know, it's retrospect, but they had opportunities to close. They had 3 opportunities to close out the series, and they dropped the damn ball.
I just want to point this out, okay? And this is an actual fact. In 32 playoff games, Mitch Marner has 5 goals and 5 penalties for shooting the puck over the glass. Okay? That's an actual fact. So do with that as you must.
Okay. Well, I mean,
I'm not going to let Austin... Wait, hold on. We're not letting Austin Matthews get off with this.
No, go for it, please.
He gave, I can't even explain it. If he played 20 minutes a game, 10 minutes he was out there, giving his all, getting into scrums, and then 10 more minutes he was taking goofy little, look what he's doing to me, guys. Look, he's shaking me around. And then do stupid shots. We both agree they needed to take more shots. But Matthews,
it seems like he was the only one that was shooting.
I know, but then he would get into this mode of anger halfway into a game where he was just chucking pucks at the glass, and he was not even getting close to hitting the net. And they all were just shooting right at Carey Price. Everyone was shooting right at his chest. It got to the point where he was embarrassing us. He was doing those Cujo glove saves where the puck was fluttering, and he was like, "Oh, what a save!"
Bottom line is the team that won games 2, 3, and 4 is completely different from the team that lost game 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah.
I don't know where that team disappeared to, because the team that won game 2, 3, and 4 were physical, were hard to play against, and they were dominant. Okay.
Listen,
I don't know what the hell happened to that same team in game 5, 6,
if Tavares really makes that much of a difference, then call me crazy, and I'm okay with that. But I don't think he does, and I think that the Leafs don't. I don't know what the hell was going on. And like I said, I'm not mad. I had my moment of being upset that this happened, but then when I thought about it, I was like, this happens every year. Why am I upset? I should be used to this. I've been experiencing failure for over 30 years of my life of just watching this team lose. And I don't I'm not mad about it. I was gonna wear a Leaf jersey and a Leaf hat today. I thought they were here in the studio. They weren't, so I'm not walking back to my house to go get them. But it's just I'm not. I don't. I'll still always be a Leaf fan. I'm not angry to the point of like how I was last year. Like this year, I was like I told you, I was already expecting them to lose. When they lost the game 5, I knew the series was over. The way they played, I was like, you're not going to beat Montreal now. Carey Price was a brick wall, and they were playing physical on you. Gallagher didn't even do anything offensively. His mind games that he was playing with them was so bad that they couldn't recover just from that.
Yeah. I'm such a fan of Anderson. He's such a powerhouse of a player.
I agree, and I think that was a smart trade for them. And
good for them.
Shea Weber is a captain through and through, and good for them for making that trade as well.
Yep. I mean, hey, it is what it is. Good for them. Good luck. See how things go.
Enjoy getting absolutely demolished by whoever makes it out of these rounds, Montreal or Winnipeg. Because, and I mean that literally. Like they might win a game or two, but I don't think either one of those teams has a chance against anyone that's remaining in the playoffs.
Yep. I mean, that's just another topic for another day. Yep. But I mean, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I'm still going to be a fan. It doesn't matter. I'm still a fan.
I'm less upset this year than I've been before.
I mean, it was pretty. I was very disappointed this year. I have to say, very disappointed because of the team that they put together.
Yeah.
And I was expecting them to.
I'm sorry for them
to win the cup. Yeah. I was expecting them to win a series.
I'm sorry for the Joe Thornton and the Jason Spezza. Like Thornton is a reason that we lost too. He's one of them, but mostly Jason Spezza. I'm really sorry that you have to sit on the bench night in, night out of those playoff games and experience that because
you brought it up. Better. You brought it up during the series. Like Spezza's on fire. Spezza's on fire. Like nothing's happening. Might as well put Spezza on that. I even said put Spezza on the first line.
Imagine you run with what you said too. Run that line. Matthews, Nylander, Spezza on the first line. There you go. Just run it. Who cares?
See what happens.
What do you have to lose?
What do you have to lose? It's game 7. Like nothing's happening right now.
Third period of game 7. You're not going to change anything up. You didn't change anything up.
No, nothing.
Third period.
It's so funny. I was at work and I was watching game 7. Okay. And I had a colleague there, and I was actually getting upset because I was like, shoot the puck, do something. And it was the last 5 minutes, and just before they scored that empty net goal, I just took off, right? Didn't even watch the last 4 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever.
I left
as soon as I got home.
At the third.
As soon as I got home, when I found out the Leafs scored a goal, I was actually even more pissed off. It's like, why? What's the point? Yeah. Why would you even do that? Why? Why would you even score a goal?
This is what I said too. Imagine this. Okay. Well, first of all, at the third period, I sat outside drinking and smoking like a maniac for the whole rest of the third period. I didn't even watch the third period. So this is my thought process on that. You pulled the goalie with like more than 3 minutes left. And then Nylander scored with like a minute left. If you didn't pull the goalie and Nylander scored that goal, let's say, it's 2-1. All you did by pulling the goalie was increase the deficit that you have.
He was outcoached.
Yeah, he was big time outcoached. That's it. I don't have anything else.
I still got more, man. Okay, I still got more.
You go.
But if Hyman asks for more money, let him go.
Goodbye.
Let him go. Like everybody is praising Hyman. Yes, he battles. He's great. So that's fine. He ain't worth more than 2.8.
You're not getting $1 out of my pocket.
And I'm sorry. I know for a fact he's going to probably get $4 to $5 million somewhere. He probably will. Sure. But if he does, kudos to him. Good for you. Take care. All right. But where do they go from here? You know what I mean? Who do they bring back? If you can sign Hyman for the same contract, good. If Spezza's willing to come back, bring him back. That leaves Thornton. I wouldn't sign him. I'm sorry. I don't think it's a good idea. I mean, if he could play a limited role, but I don't think he's. I just don't think it's good.
If he's willing to be the 13th forward, then I'll take him back.
I'd rather use that spot for an up and coming person in the Marlies and bring him up and have him be effective. You still got Nick Robertson, who they didn't even use. Okay. Nash is probably not. Riley Nash is probably not coming back. I think he was just a rental, right?
I believe so. I don't know for sure.
Foligno, I don't think is coming back.
They could re-sign him, but he's going to want too much money, and they're not going to pay that.
Yeah, I just don't think it's going to happen. If they could do it, great. I mean, we've come to know that Kyle Dubas is a very, very creative person and a very analytical person as well. Like he could probably pull something off. If he could do it, great, good for him. But do you re-sign Simmons?
If he comes back at the exact same price, yeah. If not, then no.
Okay.
Like you said, I'm okay with those shitty end spots. The maybe not Simmons, the maybe not Hyman, the maybe not Thornton being filled by other players. You want to know who played really good? And I don't care what anybody says. Kerfoot played pretty good in that series.
Kerfoot played pretty good.
And if Kerfoot is willing to take a similar contract, I'll bring Kerfoot back.
Why is his contract up this year?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. If Anderson wants more money, see you later.
Yeah. I agree.
I don't think he's needed anymore. I don't think he's needed anymore.
Like I said, I think you let Anderson go this year. You let him walk.
And I need to double check. Is Kessel's contract done with? Like, are they done
paying
so.
I
Kessel?
believe it's done.
That's $1.2 million they can use now. You got Nick Robertson in the minors. You could bring him up. You got
you got Brooks.
You got Brooks, who played a little bit. You got that guy that Bargo loves, that tough guy.
Oh yeah, I don't know his name. I know who you're.
I don't know his name, and I know he doesn't produce a lot of points, but he's a monster of a guy. Brazo, who's like 6'5", 6'6", bring him up. Like, what do you got to lose? If you got a guy that's 6'6", 250 pounds, throwing his body around. Like, how is that not helpful for your organization? And they still got Pierre Engvall too, and he played all right. So I think they're going to be okay. Like, whatever, see what happens. But they got to change things up. Like, they have to and not change things up in the sense of bring in more small forwards. I meant just develop their guys, bring in a couple of tough guys that could throw their weight around.
Get some hungry players that want a place.
But Keith needs to do a better job at coaching in the games.
I agree.
And that's coming from two people that know nothing about coaching a team.
I've never even seen a hockey game, so.
Yep. You know what I mean? And that's all I got to say after a week of just, listening to bullshit. You know what I mean? Still got it today. I'm still getting it. How about those Habs? I'm still getting it,
Yeah. And the best part of this situation is, because I know what that's like, believe me, is that I understand that the Leafs lost and why Montreal won. You don't even need to tell me, as a Montreal fan to a Toronto fan, it's like a funny rib. But me, I'm like, no, I get it. Good for you. Enjoy.
No, it's still disappointing, though, in a sense.
You're going to get one more series out of this, and then you're going to get absolutely demolished.
Yeah.
But you know what? I understand why the Leafs lost. I watched those games, minus the third period of the last game.
I mean, we know two people that are Habs fans. They keep messaging me about it. I got colleagues at work who give me shit about it still. Good for them. What can I say? It's still a little disappointing over the fact that they were up 3-1, and that was the best team that they put on paper. But, it is what it is. Carey Price, best goalie in the friggin' league.
Yeah.
Best goalie in the league.
I mean,
Vasilevsky is pretty good, but he's showing that guy in Winnipeg that won the Vezina a couple years ago how to play in a playoff series.
Let's be real. I know this is not that episode, but I don't think Winnipeg looked good in the season. I know they beat the Leafs, but I never felt like they looked like a scary team. They didn't even look good beating Edmonton 4-0, but they did. A team that did not look good in the series beat Connor McDavid 4-0 series.
Yeah.
So Like what?
What was like that guy that scored the empty net goal and Shifley just absolutely destroyed him? I can't remember his name.
I don't know his name.
But
Evans.
anyway,
I think
the
Evan.
point being is, where was that coming from the Leafs? Like, I'm not
yeah.
saying to give him a dirty check, but to play physically like that.
Well, I don't think that check was dirty. I just think he
No.
shouldn't have hit him.
No, Campos, like in today's NHL, it's dirty. Maybe 10 years
Yes.
ago, that's a body check. That's
If
a legit
you're going by what
body check.
the charge is for it, it's dirty.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
to me, he wasn't even going to hit him. At the last second, he was like, fuck it, I'm going to hit this guy. And he
Yep.
did it. It wasn't like he skated down the ice full speed and was like, this is my goal, I'm going to kill this kid.
Yeah,
But
I don't think he charged him, but
I think he got there, saw that the guy had a chance to score, and he was like, okay, I have a chance to stop him. I'm going to fucking hit him. And then the guy scored, and then he still hit him. I mean, I don't care. Either way, it makes no difference to me. If that was not as bad, that was not as bad as the Ryan Reeves incident or the Tom Wilson incident.
But
Ryan Reeves was literally putting his knee down on a guy's head on the ice. Like, well, how are you still allowed to play hockey?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But like, I'm just saying, like, where was that? Like that kind of physicality? Where was that kind of physicality? Like 5, 6 during game 5, 6, 7. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, the Leafs need to stop treating the playoffs as if it's the regular season. It's go time. Step up your game.
Yeah. There was too much dipsy doodling out there, and I did not like that.
Yeah, they need to find this killer instinct. They really do. And I'm not saying trade Marner or trade Nylander or trade Matthews. No. First of all, nobody's going to take those contracts. Maybe Nylander, but nobody's going to take that Marner's contract or Matthews' contract. You have what you have. Now you need to change their mindset and build a sort of killer instinct in them so that you can have a chance of being successful in the playoffs. That's all I have.
Yeah, I don't have anything else. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Let us know if you like the Leafs in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.
Or leave a comment about what you think they should do next season. How about that? There you go.
Right.
And then we can have a topic for the next episode, or who you think is going to win the Stanley Cup. Something, anything. Leave a comment.
Okay, bye.
Now, let's go.